Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Gaming the Max and episode 16 of our Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich, the Tsardom of Russia. Really, this is the Russian Empire. But in the last episode, we had finished up some of our focus tree that we opened up. We've also been able to core most of the Baltic areas. We were able to core the old capital of Lithuania, and we are just continuing down trying to defeat the separatist movement with the USNS in Ukraine. We don't have any that we can defeat just yet, but we do have enough divisions, at least in these regions, except for there. I just seen that one. Against you guys. Let's do area defense. I think we can move them around. It'll be all right. I think that's a little bit better. Iceland accepts our proposal. They grant us permission to freely move our troops and fleets in return for security and non-interference with their state. Yes, we did the Masters of the North. The Nordic Federation rejects our proposal. Sudovia? Yeah, Sudovia. Not 100% sure. Oh, right here. It's another Lithuanian province as well. Well, with the Nordic Federation pretty much just slapping us in the face every time we turn around. We're going to start justifying on them to take them over. I kind of have to hurry with my my game. The game is getting an update this Friday coming up, so I've got to record almost the entire campaign here in the next few days. Proximity fuses, let's see, adjust ammo production cost or make it more expensive but get more anti-air. We'll do that. Because I will tell you, without a doubt in my mind, the International probably has a ridiculous amount of planes. For like 5,000 to 8,000, 7,000 to 15,000, 2 to 5,000, and I think I have some, but I don't have nearly that much. I don't even think remotely that close. Get the better engineers. With you, we're waiting on the jet engines. We need to wait a little longer for our air. We gain 0.15 daily progress. Just doing basic research. That's also because I only have one air one, so we can build a few more air ones if we wanted to. Get 3 air ones queued up. It do take a little bit. And we'll just keep an eye on this. Once we're done with Triumph of the Restored Empire, we will do Return to Tradition. We'll also do the Burnt Sun because we'll be going to war against Japan. Try to go. I mean, we will. And then China, probably. Let me see. You're the only army I have right now, right? His army. Can use them to try and knock out these guys, but I know for a fact I'm going to need supply depots in this region. And those will probably take more than 180 days. truthfully, we can attack from here, but let's see. Get a better navy on us. Discord right here. You're getting a lot of cores, getting a lot of more building material for our building stuff from our cores. All of Georgia has been cored. Now we're actually waiting for Azerbaijan core as well. And then I'll show you guys real quick. This is where we're at. There's a triumphs of the restored empire. And we can do... I actually really like right here, the European policeman, but someone said they wanted to see return to tradition, so that was the route I'm going to take. At my max supported, you know, limits. Let's do an advanced light chassis using a diesel engine, 3-man turret, small gun, sloped armory, easy maintenance, radio, and let's do armor skirts. We'll start building these light tanks. We might, who knows what we're going to use them for, to be 100% honest with you. An improved heavy chassis. Let's see, heavy gun. The easy maintenance for sure. What's my piercing right now? Could do something for reliability. There's a heavy tank. And then the super heavy tank we're not going to build. We're going to build a like a land ship, I think is what they're calling it. Let's see. Could start doing yours. Air superiority or marine guards. Marine commanders have the exfiltrate from any coastal province, which is very strong. Line artillery is better. Breakthrough. Landing vehicles. I really like the expeditionary units, but I think these guys are a little bit better. Marine guards instead of the air superiority. I don't know. I don't know which one's better. I guess this one would be. Research. Research these guys up for our Marines. Get them a little bit better. Not below 30%, but on some of them we are. You should be pretty close to dropping down. Unfulfilled. I don't need as much from you. Who's it being unfulfilled by? The Nordic Federation. There we go. Not seeing them drop low, and that's hit 0. So a campaign of passive resistance. We've seen it. I think we've seen all of them that will pop up. So we're gonna do accept some of the demands. We lose 1% compliance, lose 75 political power, but that's completely fine because it doesn't increase our resistance, and that's really where we're needing to bring down. Yeah, I'd say these will take a little while to build. How many days left do we have? 125. It'll be completed in May, June, July, August. So, yeah, it'll even out really. And the Fang Tang government probably will be defeated. And I kind of want to defeat Japan beforehand. Do you? I don't think they actually have very many divisions. Oh no, they have quite a few. Yeah, whoa. I think we got it. We'll do return to tradition. That's about done. I'm going to do extinguish the flames. What we will do, we just won't do it just yet. I want this one, the burnt suns. The White Empire. The current age of the Russian Empire is approximately equal to that of the Roman Empire, about 11 centuries. The only difference is that the Roman Empire, with the exception of Carthage, had no rivals, and that in the last 300 years of existence, it was falling apart economically, politically, and psychologically. Modern Russia, even at its weakest, is crushing all of its competitors and shows absolutely no signs of internal disintegration. Utopians of all stripes, socialists, communists, anarchists, solidarists, promise anything and everything to anyone. Before us, everything was bad. Under us, everything will be good. We monarchists characteristically refuse to depict both the old and the new Russian monarchy as a substitute for paradise on earth, as socialists depicted socialism. We affirm, in all centuries of human history and among all peoples of mankind, there has always been a struggle between religion and states, classes and professions, groups and interests. It will continue in the future. Russia, and any other claims would be a deliberate lie. We recognize the inevitability of this struggle, and we strive to have one man who would stand above this struggle and not be a result of the struggle, as any dictator is, or a powerless accident in this struggle, as any president is. We can establish this firm fact. The Russian people, who have lived and continue to live in immeasurably more difficult conditions than any other cultured people in the history of mankind, have created the most powerful state in this history. During this time of the Tartar hordes, Russia fought essentially against all of Asia and defeated it. During the times of Napoleon, Russia fought essentially against all of Europe and defeated it. Now, in the Great Patriotic War, we once again triumphed. If not for our tragic setbacks in the past centuries, Russia would now have a population of more than 300 million, would have an industry approximately equal to the American one, would have a culture and statehood immeasurable superior to the American ones. The Russian nationality, statehood, and culture reflects with an extraordinary degree of sharpness and individual characteristics of the Russian people, fundamentally different from the individual characteristics of both Europe and Asia. Russia is not Europe, but neither is Asia or Eurasia. It is simply Russia, a completely unique national state and cultural complex, equally clearly different from both Europe and Asia. Chairman Minister Ivan Solovyevich, 8th of June, 1945. The empire is peace. Special force attack, shore bombardment bonus. Let's do this because we're starting to do. We can do the improved NAS. No, we already done it. We can do standardize. Nuclear research, nuclear reactors, sure. The Nanjing national government declared war on the Fang Tang government. They're right here. With 8 to 21 divisions. I think for you, the Fang Tang government is fully independent. Jenkins' retirement. Anton Ivanovich Denkin's career is like the history of the Russian Republic. Starting from almost nothing and succeeding against all odds, a son of a serf, Denikin came to be known as the Peasants' Marshals. Fiery, stubborn, and a brilliant field commander, both a liberal Democrat and a Russian chauvinist. But age is truly pressing on him already. It's fine time to retire. Denikin has already taken part in the great renewal of the Russian nation and enjoys great respect from the army and many of the common people. With a great Russian cause fulfilled, the General Field Marshal has informed Vladimir III of his intent to retire and to withdraw to live a quiet, rural life. He retires. I don't think I have another Field Marshal. I do not. You know what? Congratulations, where's he at? Roman Ergen Sternberg. He will be a Field Marshal. He was a Field Marshal at one point. And your cavalry will fall under Falstaff. Yep. Start both of those up. You tell me you can't get under 30% right now? Well, we've got the giant, whatever those were called. I've now since forgot. The mothership aircraft. We'll put 20 on you. I just want to build some. Azerbaijan is now a core, so we should get a lot more oil. We are trading it just a little bit. We're trading mostly, let's see, aluminum. Some rubber we're trading away. Some tungsten. A lot of steel. And some chromium. The robbing of Europe. The Brest-Litovsk Treaty severed the Russian Empire out of a third of its population and agricultural land, half of its industry, and even 6 billion marks as reparation on top. Has there ever been a peace as draconic and tyrannically dictated between the great powers in modern times? Only German imperialists could devise something more befitting of Attila the Hun than a cultured European society that Germany claimed to be. Thus, it's not harsh. In fact, it's purely fair that we ravage Germany like the Romans of old treated their vanquished states. Every mark we pay to the Germans will be taken back, and interest counted in blood spent in retaking the land. Germany and Austria lose 10% base stability. We gain 2 military factories, 4 civilian factories, and then funds for our different Mayos. I really didn't. Didn't really want to hurt their stability anymore. So you're doing domestic farms. Yeah, they're going to start doing this one. Can't believe none of these have came up. Right at 30%. Dockyards. Just keep making convoys for right now. There we go. Anti-partisans. Anti-partisans. If you guys want to read that, it just tells you they lose 25% stability or 25% resistance. And then if you click on the state, it'll show you this right here, the state modifiers, and that tells you what they have there. I've read it all in the last few episodes, but if you hadn't watched the episodes, I just wanted to point those out to you. That's what it says. All right, we've done that. Let's see. Oh, I can get 2 field marshals there. Let's do rehabilitate Tsarism. And Japan. Hello. Japan. Yes, Princely Federations, I will. No and no. Okay. We can finally bring the Princely Federations into our group, which is what I've been trying to do for a long time. They have accepted. There you go. Nepal and the Princely Federations have both joined the Reichspakt. Oh, we were met unopposed. Alright. Pizza Rango. Let's get your army over here. Move you guys out. You all be at least right there. Still can't do the jet engines. That's what I'm saving up for right now. Production efficiency gain. Unassigned. What? I don't care about that because they're not one I will keep. My lord. Everybody wants to join, but I really don't want anybody to join. Trying to watch for stuff up here popping up. And once Pizza Rongel's troops are in place, we'll send out the rest. Let me see. Occupied territories. We're doing these areas here. Right. Yeah. Sorry, I gotta... I don't even see it in this area either. There you go. Improved Oceavia. Alright. No, I'm just looking for the air ones. Push with your guys. Better engineers. Better reconnaissance. The future of Ukraine and the official propaganda of the Ukrainian lands are depicted as being liberated from the Teutonic grip, with the triune Russian nation being reunited as it always meant to be. A large part of the Russian political class sees it that way too, believing the Ukrainian statehood is now a thing of the past and that Ukraine's future is freedom under Russia. The chairman minister sees it no differently, but in private it's acknowledged that the situation on the ground is different. Many of the Ukrainian intelligentsia have been imprisoned, fled into exile, or have been intimidated, but it is just one generation of them. In the future, regardless of how well pacified the Ukrainian lands are, there is a widespread fear of yet another mass protest movement against Moscow. It's almost paradoxical in a way. There's more force is used to suppress the Ukrainian nationalist movement, and more it'll grow, yet the more autonomy given, the more Ukrainians will use it to spread anti-Russian propaganda. One day, the Ukrainian question will have to be solved once and for all. Troubled times in a troubled land lose 3% stability. No, not my stability. I didn't get to read that. See, breakthrough for, or adopt a new storage, breakthrough reliability, a little bit more cost. Well, let's adopt a new storage. I know we'll lose some. We'll start building these soon, which I'm kind of excited about. Let's see. They're about to fall there. Prince of Federation declared war on Ceylon. Let's rehabilitate Tsarism. Let's do Project M. Actually, let's not do Project M. That's 70 days. Let's get better submarines. Transcarpathia is now a core. Oh, we got a new spy. Let's do you. Root out resistance. Yeah, so we're waiting on you. Transcarpathia's cord. Homel, Pavlograd, Starboard, Kobyliski, Gauss, Leslie, Tsumi, Kharkiv, Kherson. So, absolute bunch of Ukraine has now. Zaporia, Tyrol, Crimea. So all of this is now core Russian land. Third one, Finland. Whatever. I think a problem we're having is trying to defend, and I've got such fast vehicles that are just moving right through Japan. And they just keep bringing in more soldiers that I wasn't even gonna bring in any of these guys, and they just keep attacking and bringing them in. Modern light ship. Karbog. It's cool. Latvia. Jet engines again. I feel like everybody's trying to research jet engines. Ice aircraft carriers. Everyone in the Netherlands. Tokyo's under siege. Amtrak's. Cruisers. Oh, yes. Let's do... you for the aces. Can't do any of these. Awesome submarines, that's fine. Anti-air. Onboard visibility. Ooh, that's actually quite nice. And yes, I know we've got a war go against them. Whoa. Jumping a little bit. Tokyo's the last thing they got sitting here. Oh yeah, defeat him. German request for independence. The German government has spent a significant amount of time building itself up. For once, it seems like it's no longer being regarded as a client state of ours. Perhaps it's fun time we grant them full independence free from our oversight. They've earned it, along with pursue unification without remediation, or the Germans cannot be trusted. I feel like they can't be trusted, but we'll let them, because I think they get more of a focus tree. No. No, they don't. So it really doesn't matter which way you do. They have 1,000 manpower, and that's it. And there's the fall of Tokyo. Today, the whole of Japan is shaking its core as Russian forces finally took the capital after some fierce fighting. Despite the hopes of the Russian planners, it seems the imperial palace was evacuated successfully, leaving the whereabouts of the empire and the government unknown. With the Japanese capital in foreign hands for the first time in history, the minimum of Japanese forces can only be described as grim. It's only believed by the Japanese public that the might of their armed forces, the nation's position will render an invasion impossible. The arrival of Russian troops lays the falseness of this claim bare, and it seems the Japanese hegemony over East Asia has shattered forever. We've knocked them out. I'm gonna try to fight for everything. And then, of course, confirmed. Thank you. Beautiful. We are at war with the Philippines. I really hate to say this. I really don't care. But strike force here with our big fleet. Take you, convoy raid. And let's move you guys over here. It'll take a long time. Do I still have this claim to declare war? Yes. Port strike. The fate of Japan. Release a transitional government. And they become a puppet. Collapse of the Japanese Empire. An unexpected rise in Asian powerhouse, the Empire of Japan announced that they had formally surrendered all their forces On the home island, regarding their recent capitulation, the stubborn and warlike people of Japan are not accustomed to submitting, yet faced with annihilation, they had undoubtedly decided to spare their country for further destruction. Once regarded as the primary industrial nation in the Pacific with one of the world's most modern navies and armies to boast, the Japanese defeat led to the sphere's ultimate dissolution. In the face of such an overwhelming defeat, the various members of the Code Prosperity laid scattered and adrift, perhaps prone to foreign aggression. One thing remains certain, however, that this is the rising sun has finally faded, and with it, new powers in Asia may soon take its place. I think it said they thought they were stronger than us, which is kind of funny. There you go. Go to Guam. We can just take Guam, gain claims. Sure, we'll just take Guam. I think it's funny. And we'll give Taiwan to our allies. The misery of the West. The communists claim that all is well in the West, but this is not true. Many dissidents tell us of a terrible condition there. The British are governed by uneducated Welsh coal miners, eating only potatoes and fish. Whenever the Union bureaucracy food coupons arrive on time, that is. The French can only dream of the wines they had before the Revolution, when the vintners were free and profited from their bourgeoisie luxuries. The militias rely on mob rule, hunting down those who believe in God. Obviously, many of these claims are entirely unsubstantiated and come from bitter emigres and dissidents who may not have had visited their home countries after the 1920s. But they find ample listeners in Russia. Nothing strokes our pride more than to see Russia as an advanced, prosperous society compared to the materialistic degeneracy of the West. Truly, it'll be the century of Russia, taking the mantle of the flame of civilization from the Old West. You guys have to be getting lower. Do field hospitals. Let's go. Call my allies. They weren't being protected by anybody, right? Nope. Call Manila. See, I don't even have to worry about the Philippines falling. Germans are pushing here. Oh, there's so many planes everywhere. There's not enough range. Sure. Lao is now a core. Very nice. Ceylon was capitulated. Oh wow, the Germans have just absolutely blitzed through them. We're not doing bad either. The fate of the empire. With the finalization of the last branch of the new government system, the future of the Japanese throne must be discussed. While Hirohito does undoubtedly bear responsibility for persecuting the war against us, true justice would likely leave him dead or in prison for life. And with us an impossible public order problem on our hand, many of our people still, however, clamor for the complete abolition of the imperial institution, blaming them for the lives lost in the costly invasion of their home islands, and doing so would justify their lust for revenge. Our diplomats and even most generals have, on the other hand, advised against it, just instead that we allow the royals to continue in a simple position, or at least only force Hirohito's abdication, lest we face a potential permanent insurrection against their collaborators. Leave him on the throne, but transfer the sovereignty to the people, force him to abdicate, or completely get rid of it. We'll allow him. Leave him on the throne, but transfer sovereignty to the people. Really, I don't care if it's absolute or not, because I'm an absolute monarchy, really. They can do fighter bomber. They gave me all that equipment. And I turn around and just go to war against them. Poor guys. And the Philippines officially I don't have anything. German East Asia took it all. Air production. Oh, so you're Reign of the Princes. Oh, so they've done everything. Nice. Broslev, Mohail, all claims now. Novgrundok and Minsk. Lovosky. Let's see. Pretty much everything in that region. Still can't do any of these, but it's alright. No longer getting the contingency or counterinsurgency war. Oh, that kind of is rough. So that was helping me mostly. Scripted value, resistance for Kiev, compliance. Yeah, our compliance is very high. Building these 3 a week. Doing good. I didn't realize people of Romulus troops had showed up. These poor guys don't know what's hitting them. Yeah, piercing. Our motorized is just so fast. My lord, how did you all lose so many? They do have 44 destroyers, that's probably why. Oh, they had heavy cruisers. Field hospitals, logistics companies. Fate of the Japanese imperial family. One era ends, another begins. Let's talk about what we did. He renounces his divinity, and he just says, hey, I'm just your emperor now, but the power's to the people. We're only halfway to capitulation. I don't even know if they can stand up and look at me right now. They're just getting rolled over. Boots. Oh, that's probably why. I was like, man, there's root out resistance here. Root out resistance here. Try to move them around. I'm losing some convoys, which is it's just fine. Let's do these ones. I need so much aluminum.
Я готов.
Go. Really, someone should be able to defeat that.
До приказа.
Solidify control.
Смирно. Готов выдвигаться. Слушаю. Ройсь.
Of course, it won't let me get everything. No Germany. You may not take anything. Germany's like, but I did good. Well, too bad. Exit. Perfect. We got 230,000 equipment out of that, which is just crazy. Let's see, production at cost or soft attack. Resources needed. Let's do soft attack. Nordic operative captured. Well, there's no real Nordic area anymore, so recruit. The modern cruiser. Recruit carrier. Yeah, I'm just gonna give you back anyway. Let's see the fate of Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. Let's do Sweden. Establish the Sweden monarchy, or it could do nothing for now. I really kind of wanted to bring them back as Scandinavia, but I don't think it'll let me. Yeah, restore the Swedish monarchy to the throne. Norway. Bring back the Norwegian monarchy, and Denmark bring back their monarchy. There you go. Welcome, Gustav V. Sadly, they already have went down the Nordic focus tree there. Return Danish lands. There's land that I have that's Danish. Sure. Amtrak battalions, we'll start building those. Advanced radio, heavy naval guns. Let's see, high velocity cannons. Hull mounted. Light anti-air, huh? This is crazy looking. Fuel capacity, stabilizers. Let's do. This thing can have a radar on it. Let's do that. I don't even know if this is remotely good, but it is very funny. I most definitely don't need as much there. I'm guessing these land cruisers work just like artillery pieces do. That's what I would have to guess. My goodness, I need tungsten. Still can't do jet engines, is what we're hoping for. Increase security, or don't. Lowers risk of information theft. I'm not really worried about information theft. I mean, it's going down pretty heavily. Let's get Control Shift, Peter Rongo's group here. Oh, you're my guys in the fence. I want your army. Spread that down here. Still be Southern Command. And yes, we will start to get ready to go to war versus the Communards. Sorry to get a drink there. My throat's a little sore today. Reward the veterans. Demobilization. Let's see, who's a field marshal now? Nikolai Konskin. Savinkov lives, or so claims a book by former Sobornik Sergei Nikitish Ivanov. How? I'm glad you asked. He is known as Savinkov's bodyguards. Flogor Klepkov was early someone looking to late Vazad himself, and they were known to switch roles at times when the SZRS was working underground against the Bolsheviks, and every day would have ended up with Cheka shooting Savinkov. Apparently, Klepkov was able to impersonate Savinkov well, to the point that there was a scholarly debate if some photographs of Savinkov from 1918 and 1920 are of him, or if they are actually Klepkov. The Truth of the Vazad claims that Boris Savinkov has in fact escaped Moscow on that fatal day when he faced the coup. The military shot Klepkov instead, and to save face, they claimed they had killed the right man. Savinkov was buried in an unmarked grave, so we're unable to examine his remains. Why? Perhaps it's all part of a conspiracy. And what of Klepkov's official fate? He is marked as killed in the coup alongside Savinkov, but again buried in an unmarked grave, with only military reports to believe. Obviously, there cannot be any other reason for unmarked graves than a military conspiracy. Wake up, somewhere out there, Savinkov still lives. Perhaps he's planning for his triumphant return, like Napoleon himself came back from Elba. Sons of Savinkov, be ready for when he comes. We must be ready once more to take power. Russia Fara de Se. What in the world? That's cray. And we'll do demobilization. Pretty much just go right back up. I can do you. I can do you as well. see, speed, gas turbines. Range is just what keeps you away from that, really. Logistics companies do helicopter logistics. Vladimir III and Leonida Gagravenya. The emperor, busy with public and state affairs for the last 10 years, did not have an empress due to the family's growing concern about a heir. He finally decided to propose to Leonida Bragartashin Karensky, a young woman from the sideline of the Georgian kings. They met several years ago at one of the state parties, and from that time on, they discovered they had a lot in common, and the relationship gradually grew into something more than just friendship. Although the emperor initially feared that some hardliners would not approve of the union due to Leonida's previous divorce and the fact that she did not belong to a sovereign ruling family, he eventually decided to propose to her. The ensuing uproar from the monarchists and legalists was clearly rejected by the emperor, who simply declared laws of secession obsolete and decided to ignore them. Public opinion is divided. Citizens are not particularly concerned about such laws, but monarchists and even some politicians accuse the emperor of childishness and outright violation of laws. Despite this, today the wedding took place in the Kremlin Cathedral of the Dormition. Vladimir and Leonidia exchanged rings 3 times, then knelt and exchanged wedding vows, holding wedding crowns above their heads. After they were led around the lectern, they knelt and kissed the golden cross, and after the last prayer, Vladimir and Leonidia were declared husband and wife. After this, celebrations were announced throughout Russia by the emperor, who hoped to strengthen the public support for his move and overcome the monarchist dissatisfaction with his choice. The laws are from 1820. When was the last time you looked at the map? Lose 2% stability. Yeah. I'll tell him right now, I don't care a bit. Let's build these airports. What about you guys? You got a little Air Force coming about? It's 5,000 planes. You got 4,000. You're all rocket interceptors. Oh, so are you. Why are you still building? Are these interwar planes? Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah, so are you. Why are you building interwar close air support? You don't have any. You got some. The Ottomans don't. Poland? You guys don't even have manpower, so. Let's see. Production conversion speed. I know these are stockpilable things, so the land cruisers can go into mechanized. Well, actually, make you a little bigger. I don't think I have enough heavy tanks for that, but yeah, I don't have any. Let's see, we could give you... where is it at? I might not have researched it yet. What can I give away? Let's see, breakthrough and initiative. Maintenance, I'm not giving give up. Logistics, no. Actually, you. The land cruiser. How many land cruisers do I need? 19. All right, we'll build enough. Let's do build a better Europe. I'm struggling to get them down below when I need to. Jump right back up to extensive. Start doing these rocket engines. Signal companies. Armored signal companies. want you to be helicopter recon. I think you're a little bit better. Yeah. And Army Scouts. Let's see, helicopter recon. Nope, you're a little bit worse. Alright. 7 days. Still haven't got my resistance though. If you're curious what I'm drinking today, it's Diet Dr. Pepper. Very delicious. Let's see. Yeah, reconnecting with the Russian soul. The semi-official newspaper Sentinel was full of photographs from the German minister Ivan Solovynovich's travels through Turkestan. He spoke at the People's Monarchist rally in Tashkent, drawing great crowds of more curious than admiring people. Still, his down-to-earth style seemed to work with the locals. He spoke for peaceful relations between the faiths of Turkestan, meeting with leaders of the local Christian and Muslim communities. His journey continued to the Aksu Zabaglinski Natural Reserve in the Talas Alato Mountains, where he mountain climbed with local Kazakh guides and was later photographed in traditional Kyrgyz garb. Later, Solovynovich explained the purpose of this visit was to find a part in his soul that was lost in the modernity of European life, something that could still be discovered from the faraway places in the world where life remains authentic and close to nature. It remains to be seen if the Chairman Minister found this piece of his soul, but the whole stunt definitely contributed to his fame as not merely a politician, but something greater. Change popularity, paternal autocracy, 2%. I'll have to watch the Fang Tang government fall here soon. Fighting in the Ukrainian territories, we've seen this. We lose 4% stability and we gain 7 resistance. Justifying goal. Landing crafts. Let's see. How many units do you actually have? 302. Okay. Wow. The Indian fleet's massive. All 7 ships of it. You have 20,000 planes of all interwar. I still don't understand why they only build interwar stuff, but who am I to say anything, I guess. Select all. Perfect. Yeah, I need to do a bunch of these, sadly. Doom. Renewal. Can't do anything with that. Research. Can't do those. We can do those. Yeah, really the only places that we need core are right here. And we'll do Vanguard on the L. Let's see. You're close to being cored. 44%. The Emperor in history. The Emperor of all the Russians, Vladimir III, has a reputation as a humble and well-educated man without much imperial opulence to show off. This is advised to maintain public opinion towards the Emperor, but truth be told, Vladimir himself is not used to the kind of luxuries that the First Empire is remembered for. It's hard to say what the exact relationship is between Vladimir and the regime idolizing him. The Empire himself appears in public often, but never makes political statements. He often visits his villages, and his meetings with the common Russians are widely publicized. Chairman Minister Solovanich often idolizes the young emperor in his speeches, making Vladimir the very symbol of an energetic new Russian empire. In official media, Vladimir is portrayed as an educated and wise, but still in touch with the common people. He and his loyal servant Solovanich simply wish to improve every Russian's life and refuse old czarist opulence. He is the czar of the people, not someone surrounded by fancy guards and isolated in grand palaces. And given his age, he might even live to see the 21st century gain 1% stability. Yeah, poor Fang Tang. Tinsk is now core. Moser. What's funny is even if this goes to the high, we still get it. New line connecting Limburg to Lublin. The new product of the Polish-Austrian economic cooperation is a brand new expansion of the Limburg-Lublin railway. Movements between the Republic of Poland and the Crown have always been frequent, and additional rail volume has been sorely needed to account for the increases in trade. Gain 10% or 10 political power and build a level 1 railway. Warsaw Brest route expanded despite stormy Polish-Ukrainian relations. Our cooperation has benefited both of us during the past few decades. The second line from Warsaw to Brest and beyond to Kiev. Hopefully, transportation will be eased. The project will be well received both by business and most of all by the Ukrainian military as it improves logistics between Germany and the Russian front. Good. Plus 10 political power and 1 railway level. I think it's funny. It says the Russian front, but you need to do guarded democracy. You're doing naval production. You're building mines. Oh, you still have a part of your focus tree. You're done. You're done. You're doing this. You're done, you're done. You're not done, you're doing this side. Federalist movement in Sichuan is victorious. Will they bring true democracy to China? I'd like to see if they reform it. The dust settles in China. After years of bloody conflict, China seems to be finally, if not in peace, in semblance of stability. The United Provinces of China has emerged victorious, and Sheng Zhengming's government now holds the reins over most of China. For the first time after 1936, China is under a government that actually controls most of the country, and with its our relationship has changed. Previously, we could optimistically play the warring states against one another and extend power in the Chinese frontier region without too many consequences. But if China is to be unified, they will become a great player. Perhaps not now, but in a decade or two, and it's integral to make a lasting agreement with them now, perhaps with the promise of helping to rebuild, in exchange for keeping certain Russian interests in their mind. An offer or partner with them insane. Lords of Eurasia. We can talk to them. Get an offer. Canon Abel. Ivan Solonovich has ruled the country with an iron fist in the war, but as the common goals have been met, he's coming increasingly in fire behind the scenes. His attitude of smashing his way through politics is undoubtedly the core of his appeal, but also made him many enemies, even among his own allies. The worst for open today when other than Ivan's own brother Boris attacked Chairman Minister Slovanich in the pages of the Sentinel. This appeal implied that Ivan Lukanovich did not really respect the monarchy and was already trying to return the emperor to his puppet. In addition, they strongly criticized Solomonich's appointment to some government posts during the war, arguing that he often ignored talented men with whom he disagreed, though he claimed to believe in a meteorocratic government, and anyone who knew Ivan Solomonich could attest to the truth here. He was a very strong-willed man, spiteful to his enemies and rewarding to his allies. Perhaps brother Boris held a grudge for being sidelined from power, as the stab captain's owner had been placed under the Ministry of Internal Affairs as an official state organization, robbing Boris of his independence. Perhaps he's really pointing out the hypocrisy of Ivan's policies for the good of Russia. As the text ended, Russia needs no other Vazod than what Emperor Vladimir should be. This is idiotic. Change popular paternal autocracy by negative 5%. Okay. Still can't do any of these. Oh, I see. So they have to do this. Let's do the Wars of Eurasia. Still? Let me see. Occupied territories. Yeah. Stanislaw might soon be cored. No.
До приказа.
Control shift click.
Так точно. Я готов.
Control shift clicked. It's gonna lag a little bit. Ooh. Who's selling what? Whoa, Germany, you're selling 50,000 of that? You're selling a bunch too. Not that I need anything, to be honest. We'll actually start to come in here. Anything that can be upgraded will be upgraded for the time being. Falls Ills, helicopter transport. Let's see, where's my garrison unit? I need something for suppression. I don't know anything else that will give you suppression, to be 100% honest with you. The Land Cruiser will. Nope, I don't think there is. The Emperor's intervention. Boris Solomonich and his allies had openly criticized Ivan Solomonich as a power-hungry hypocrite. This cannot stand. Against the advice of the cooler heads, Ivan wrote his own piece, openly ridiculing his opponents in the party leadership. He called his brother an ungrateful fool, Wojciechowski a spineless opportunist, and Diokin a monarcho-communist. It soon became clear to everyone that the highest echelons of power were engaged in an increasingly fractional struggle of wills. The Stab Captain organization is largely loyal to its leader Boris, although there is a growing pro-Ivan faction internally. General Tukuril spoke out strongly in favor of Ivan Solomonich, questioning the intentions of his local opposition. The most important voice came from the emperor himself. Vladimir met with the chairman minister in the Senate Palace, perhaps for the first time as equals. He was an idolized monarch who was restoring Russian greatness, and Solomonich was being hounded by his former friends in a pointless, prideful struggle. The relationship between the two has always been deeply official and respectful, but there was no need to mention that if the emperor wanted to favor the opposition instead, he was perfectly capable of doing so, but he spoke in veiled terms of national stability and the efficiency of the good imperial government. In practice, the emperor demanded Solomovich end this childish struggle, give in on some issues, and perhaps loosen the reins, if only symbolically. This was an extremely hard pill for Ivan Solomovich to swallow, but in the end, he did not want to go against his imperial majesty. It was even harder to accept that Vladimir had finally found it in himself to actually oppose Solomovich, and then to make it clear that he was not necessarily as the emperor in the system that Solomovich made himself had built. A strong man is humbled, lose 50 political power. Crank it up to 5 speed. I know I don't usually do that at all. They're gonna get defeated relatively quickly. Include light batteries. I really do struggle with building a navy, not gonna lie. They defeated. Tested under controls, we can put it to use against our enemies. Add 1 nuke. Add more to the project. I should have got the nuke, actually, now that I think about it. Chinese approach. The relationship between China and Russia have always been one of mixed interest due to both powers asserting hegemony over the contested regions in recent history. While one could argue that Sino-Russian relations may have begun with the invasion of the Golden Horde, true relations with the modern Russian nation began when the Qing dynasty attempted to drive out the Russians from Manchuria, which concluded with the Treaty of Nerchinsk. The Russians, however, never quite forgot this, and when imperial power was reached its height during the 9th century and the Chinese power on the decline, the Russians were able to consolidate control of the Russian Far East and start to settle Chinese Manchuria. Now the Russian power reasserted following total victory in the Great Patriotic War. The time has come to address the Chinese situation. China, long battered from years of warlordism and civil strife, have become a dangerous enemy should the Chinese modernize and align with our enemies. Our relation with China is integral for the protection of the Trans-Siberian Railway, Siberian resources in the port of Vladivostok. Ideally, though, the buffer states like Mongolia and East Turkestan, perhaps a more long-term solution would be seeking a truly cooperative relation with the Chinese regime, fostering trade and development in Eastern Siberia. Strike a deal. So let me see. What does that entitle? We get this. We get a non-aggression pact. No, I think we actually probably could go to war with them and then puppet them and still do that. Not sure though. I might say they have to be. Yeah, it's not an ally. Non-aggression pact's what gets me. I mean, really, that is pretty good. But they're socialists. We'll just allow our times to continue on. Let's see, we finished everything. We can do that. Really don't matter. Let's do you for the rocket engines. $35.
Готов выдвигаться.
Fighting the Ukrainians. I don't want that. Yeah, we'll just go with Asia. I really am bad about doing my Navy stuff, by the way. I think all of you know that by now. The new Warsaw-Kiev Railway, previously trains intending to to terminate at Kiev from Germany had to take lengthy detours via other members of the Middle Europe due to the poor state of their Polish railways, plaguing the route with delays as express trains passing through Poland are required to limit their top speed and even pull aside on antiquated sidings. As of now, the newly opened Warsaw-Kiev Railway intends to pull the two nations closer together by linking the capitals with an express railway, shortening the time taken for the Berlin-Kiev Express from upwards of 48 hours passing through four nations to a mere 18 hours with a single stop. Built to a heightened standard, the track supports trains up to 10,000 tons and a top speed of 240 kilometers an hour. While it's not expected for trains to immediately be able to fully utilize the potential of the rail now, the high potential for the tracks are intended to serve more powerful locomotives projected to be developed within the decade, as well as the heavier freight trains headed to and from Ukraine and the Caucasus. The railway management body expects to be required to serve 10 trains in each direction at any point of the day, including both passenger and cargo trains. Political power plus 20, build a level 1 railway from Kelm to Kiev. I'm not really sure who's building the railways, but I don't care. There's another one in the joint Polish-Belarusian project. Railway connections between our two nations have improved drastically. The region is riddled with wetlands and forests, and has for a long time contributed to the poverty of Belarus. Previous Russian and German railway projects did build the basic infrastructure, but there was so much to be desired, especially in terms of commercial and civilian railways. These have been our focus and show the landlocked Belarus as a more tightly knit to European trade. Good. One off-map civilian factory railway from Lublin to Minsk, level 1. The French Republic, yeah, sure. Find the academies. Why do you not do this? Once we get the war goal, we'll go to war with China. Okay, finish. Oh, we can actually just remove the missions. Yes, let's do that. Heavy tactical bombers. Do you... Project M's about done.
Внимание! Готов! Я готов!
Make sure everybody's motorized. Well, once this is finished, two more territories are cored. Project M is done. Start doing our Navy. So we still have to have these divisions here, but now we'll no longer gain or increase from those. So we should start seeing this go down relatively quickly. Underway, replenishment. Let's do air. Also want these. And my motorized. Can we switch you all to mechanized? Suppression's worse. Everything else is pretty much better. Let's give you... Actually, we're not going to give you land. Make you super slow. Let's do... Maintenance. and maybe medevac. I hope I have enough resources for that. Fighters, universal. What is the universal? Because it really doesn't matter. Alright. Sorry, China. I think we can finish the war. We're gonna call our allies. Go and go. You should be fighting down here. Wherever my tanks are at, they're probably just gonna rip through them. Let's see, with you, max range but production. Ooh. Production efficiency. Not a fan of the negative max range for sure. Battery doctrine. Oh, took somebody up here. They actually did have tanks. I'm very shocked. I wasn't paying attention that they. I mean, I figured they probably would have tanks, but it would most definitely be few and far between on the tanks. There goes the Republic of Korea. That was pretty fast. I knew how far my troops were moving just by the different things popping up for me. Do reliability, production. See, you guys are still converting stuff. See, I'd say you're not even close. Do you with cruiser submarines? Yeah, my vehicles are just so fast. They're just blitzing through these guys. How many troops have I lost? 300. Our allies have lost with me 500,000. They've lost 1.84 million. Rough. For them, not for us, but rough. We follow Nanjing. support vehicle. We'll build some of those. Not many, but some. Let's do that, and what was the other thing? Alright. There we go. You to the top. And you to the top, let's do 10. 10. Trying to outproduce the Americans on equipment. I'll tell you, I'm sorry these are long episodes, but I'm not. Yunan's capitulated. Look at the absolute swarm of troops I have. I hope I have the most. Korea, Shangji. I don't know how many I had starting at 4,000. Come on. Princely Federation's gonna be doing this. Take all. Submit. Submit. Come on. My lord, they're really fighting for that territory. Alright. Permanent exit, okay. We'll justify on these two as well. Proximity fuses. Better logistics. See the fate of Korea. Liberate. Fate of China. Restore the Qing Empire. The Harmony Association will become the ruling party. Under Gao Lingwei. So we'll be doing this one. Okay. We can put the Mad Baron back into power in Mongolia. Yeah, let's do that. I think that'd be interesting. China. 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 Why would we ever just say, meh? We could puppet Manchuria, but I think we'll allow China to have it. China. China. Obtain. to him. Who is it? Where is that tile? Let's see. It's Mongolia. Mongolia. Yes, this is Mongolian, and Ordos is as well. Hunters of the New Generation. I just did that with Mongolia because I think it's funny that he becomes the Mad Baron again. It is nice that you can... You're doing the domain. I hope they do this. The due reward for treason. So deny them. You're part of the faction, so... Let's take you. Control Shift here.
Внимание!
You all. Control Shift here.
Готов выдвигаться.
You.
Внимание!
Put you under an infantry officer.
Ройс!
And you guys go under Torchapovo. Alright. War with China was super fast. Oh, I just realized we're on 4 Steak still. And we still can't hit these below 30%. At some point, we'll just core them. Just have enough compliancy to core them, so... Alright, well, with that, I'm going to end the episode. What we'll be doing next is... well, the United States has landed. We'll be going to war with the Socialists and the Communards. Because I think it is very close to being time. I think with Germany sitting here, getting ready. All my little puppets up here in the north are doing pretty good. And then China, of course, coming back around. We'll get these cores, knock these guys out. We'll give them all to China again. So yeah, not too bad of an episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.